Switching gears slightly, tonight is a pretty big night in Hollywood, with the Oscars taking the stage. For pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel activists are hoping to steal that spotlight. Various groups like Film Workers for Palestine and SAG-AFTRA for ceasefire have protests planned calling for an immediate ceasefire in the ongoing war in Gaza. To talk about all of the latest, I'm joined now by filmmaker, director, actor, and activist Yuval David. Yuval, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
When we're talking about these protests taking the center stage, and when we should be talking about the red carpet perhaps, what is the likelihood of these pro-Palestinian, anti-Zionist protests actually stealing the show, so to say?
Well, the show must go on. That's what so many people talk about, and the show will go on. One of the things is we have to take ownership of our show. We have to take ownership of our narrative. Right now, we're losing control. We're letting those who hate us, who hate Jews, who hate Israel, or who hate Zionists, whatever phraseology they're choosing, they're taking ownership of who we are as a people. Of course, that's affecting Hollywood because celebrities, whether they are actors, directors, filmmakers, producers, above the line or below the line people with a following, they're expected and actually compelled to comment on socio-political issues. We've seen it throughout the course of the Hollywood industry. We've seen it throughout this is the 96th Oscars. And every year we see these celebrities commenting on socio-political issues. Well, let's see what their comments are going to be tonight. Are they going to be disturbed by the protests that are happening right now in Hollywood when they're saying that there should be no awards while the bombs are dropping? But then we have people like Bradley Cooper, Mark Ruffalo, America Ferrera, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, who are all commenting and saying that there should be a ceasefire. How can we have a ceasefire when we still have 134 hostages being held? How can we have a ceasefire when those who attacked Israel and the Jewish people killed more than 1,200 people, took more than 253 hostages? How can we have a ceasefire? Are we supposed to peacefully just say, oh, it's okay, you can kill us and rape our women and take us hostage and brutalize us? And how are we supposed to fight forward? That's what the Jewish people do. We fight forward, and now we're seeing people who are trying to figure out what they're supposed to say on the red carpet about these issues. Many of them are uninformed and misinformed and also learning about this situation from social media. Meanwhile, whatever they say are going to compel other people to form their opinions because most of these celebrities have more followers than there are Jewish people in the world.
Wow, there's certainly a lot that goes into it when we're seeing these mega stars take the stage, but can we expect, hopefully, a little bit of Israeli pride there as well? When we saw the Grammys just a few weeks ago, there were people donning the yellow pins in support of the hostages.
Yeah, I wish there were larger yellow pins. There were many very small little yellow pins, and that's great, but we're also seeing these red pins. So tonight, what is expected is a battle of the pins. The red pins, which are symbolizing a call for a ceasefire. The yellow pins, which are in honor of the hostages, calling for the hostages to be freed. So we'll see what happens tonight, but it's definitely a complicated issue. One of the other issues is with me and many other people within the Hollywood industry who are trying to empower not just Jewish people but our allies to focus on the values that we believe in order to know how to frame our opinions, to know how to frame what we say. So we're creating these different committees within SAG-AFTRA, within the Directors Guild, within the Writers Guild, within the Producers Guild, empowering Jews and our true allies to step up, to speak out, and to do what is right. We are storytellers in this industry. We know how to tell a story. We can affect society, and it is a responsibility that we have within the entertainment industry.
And that is one of the main dilemmas right now, the fact that many of these Jewish actors have not been speaking up or speaking out against what is happening and the protests taking the streets. Shame
on them for caring more about their careers than their people. I have a television show that I am an actor in on FX called Feud. It just came out. I have dedicated my social media and so much of what I'm saying to this issue. Our people were under attack and are still under attack internationally. So I'm using the platforms that I've built to talk about it. And so many of us are doing the same thing. To those Jewish people who are still silent, I really say shame on them. Speak up. Do what is right. And if you're afraid of supporting Israel, focus on the values. Do you believe in democracy? Do you believe in women's rights? Do you believe in LGBTQ rights? Do you believe in freedom of religion? Do you believe in equal access to education? Do you believe that women should be able to drive? Do you believe that people should be able to travel freely? Focus on your values, and then you know who to support in this. You definitely shouldn't be supporting Hamas, Hezbollah, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and the people who believe that what Hamas did is right.
They're not necessarily supporting, but as you said, they're staying silent, and sometimes that speaks louder than their own words.
Silence is deafening. Silence is deafening, and silence is complicity.
And certainly when it comes to what we can expect in the future, tonight is setting the stage possibly for what to see in the future award shows in Hollywood, which, as we've been talking about, it does control the media and the general perception.
But we, the people, control so much as well. Do you want your favorite celebrities to comment on something? Use social media. Use the social media platforms that really are proving to be a cesspool against us. We need to clean this cesspool. We need to counterbalance the hate speech with more speech. That is the only way to counterbalance hate speech. The protests that are happening right now outside the Dolby Theater for the Oscars are protected because it's the First Amendment law of protecting freedom of speech. It's a constitutional right, but they're pushing the limits. They're testing the limits. We've seen these protests turn into riots. We've seen them become violent, but what do we need to do? We need to be strong Jews. We need to be empowered Jews to speak up. We can affect the celebrities. We can have them comment on things the same way we do with our politicians.
A counter voice for sure. It needs to be heard. Yuval David, thank you for that little bit of positivity. Hopefully we'll see some of that as we look to Hollywood tonight.
Amen to that.